Okay, today is 3 weeks carnivore. 3 weeks of eating nothing but meat, butter, eggs, and I think that's about it. But anyway, yeah, it's been great. I'm actually very excited, and I've hit a near goal for my 1 month mark. My 1 month mark was to be at 200 pounds or below. And I started at carnivore at 214. I think it was like actually 213.8. But so I'm at 214, and then I went down. I am now 200.5. So close. So I'm hoping next week I will have met my goal, and that makes me very excited. So with my symptoms have obviously drastically improved. I've been doing this walk run thing. I'm walking, and I will do like 3 or 4 30 to 45 second runs. I even sprinted one time. I did do a video just before this one to really explain how I have noticed some trends with the exercise, with the intermittent fasting, and how my weight comes off, because I've been weighing myself up every day, which I normally have never done in the past. If I weighed myself 4 times a year, that was a lot. So I'm not a big fan of weighing, but I had gotten one of those scales that measure like your fat and everything else. So I thought, I'm just going to measure myself and see how I'm doing every day. And it's actually been very helpful, because I did notice a lot of trends that's really encouraged me to keep exercising and to keep up with the intermittent fasting. So that's, like I said, been extremely helpful. And so with the running, I think the first time I did a little bit of running, I had like left knee pain, and it went away after about 24 hours. The second time I went running a couple of days ago, I had no pain at all afterwards. And so that was really encouraging. So I'm very, very encouraged to keep exercising. My kids are coming out in a couple of days. We're going to Yosemite for a lot of hiking. So I think tonight I'm going to walk, run, and then I won't do any exercise till the weekend when we do some hiking. Just I want to make sure that, I don't overdo it for myself before we actually do the hiking. So no, I'm going to overdo it for that. But anyway, yeah, so the weight has been coming off, but the important thing that was really exciting today, this was like such I don't know how to explain it, but it was a huge relief, not only to see that 200 number. Of course, 199 is going to be way better, but the visceral fat. Now, we know visceral fat is all the fat that's around your organs, and that's in your belly. That's why so many people have like big, like bear guts. But people with fatty liver disease, a lot of people now have these big bellies, and it's because we have a lot of fat around our organs, and that's visceral fat, and that's the fat that kills. It's not necessarily the fat on your thighs or anywhere else, but that fat around your organs is really, really bad. It's called visceral fat. And my scale tells me how much I have versus subcutaneous fat versus total fat. Now, my sub-Q and my total fat is still decreasing. I think I'm like 2.5 percentage points less, but I'm still in the excessive amount. So, obese. I'm still in the excessive amount for my BMI, morbidly obese. And, the visceral fat today, I think I started at 19, and it's now down to 15, which is now considered high. I'm out of the excessive zone for visceral fat. And that's where I've been losing the most fat. And that's why I know that the carnivore diet is the right diet, at least for me and for many others, is because it actually gets rid of the fat that your body doesn't need. And your body will burn the fat in a smart way. It's not going to get rid of the fat that's not as bad for you. It's going to get rid of the fat that's really bad for you first. And I am down like 4 notches on my belt. I found this week I have a waist. When I put my jeans on and my scrub pants on for work, my pants, they all sit higher instead of lower with what I always call my second tummy. I'd always have the big pouch, and then I'd have my belly button. I have the other pouch that hangs over where I had my C-sections. And I thought for sure I was never going to get rid of any of that. And that is like legit. That's where it's all going. All that fat is just melting off my stomach. And I can't tell you what, I almost want to cry, because that's been my biggest fear, is, dying early, having my kids, luckily they're all adults now, but still, I don't want to leave my kids at my age, in the 50s, and I want to see grandkids and everything else, and I want to have a nice long life. And, that visceral fat was really bothering me, because as a nurse, I know what that means. And so that's always been weighing on my mind. And to have that go from excessive to high really just made me realize I am definitely on the right track. I'm definitely doing the right thing. And I'm just going to keep going. This has been the most amazing feeling. And so with that, I'm just going to go into, let's see. Oh, the other thing too is the coffee. So I was going to stop coffee, and I gave in, had 1 cup of coffee. I want to say it was Monday or Tuesday. I was really tired, and I did try the Element. The Element does actually help. But I just miss my coffee. I really do. I miss coffee, and I love raw heavy cream in coffee. It has a distinct flavor, and I miss it. And so I thought, okay, I'll just have 1 cup. No. I have like right elbow pain. I think that's where the left knee pain came from, because it was like that night I ran. And I decided, no more. I gotta just put the coffee away for now. Maybe in a year I'll try it again, but it really was not good for me. I've been very sluggish. I actually just came from the store. I had to buy some more bone broth, because that's what I put my Element in. I don't like it in my water. It's too salty. So I love it in bone broth. So I'll put the Element in the bone broth and go from there and see if that doesn't make a difference for the next couple of days for me. And let's see what else. I'm trying to think. Well, my diet hasn't changed too much. I did have less fat over the previous week, and kind of like halfway through week 2 and halfway in the beginning of week 3, I cut down off the bacon and realized I wasn't going to the bathroom very much, and so I thought maybe I should increase my fat. And I realized that it really actually disrupted my GI quite a bit. So I increased my fat over the last 3 days, and that's made a big difference. Been going to the bathroom, but it's been there's been some orange color in there. I looked it up. It's not supposed to be that dangerous, but it can be your pancreas being stressed. So I don't know if that's from just having too much protein and not enough fat for that previous week. And I think that's what it is. We're going to see how this week plays out, but I'm already feeling better. And so I feel that it was just the lack of fat, or not as much fat as I was having before. So I got to, start making all the bacon again. Got to keep up with the bacon. And so that's what I'm going to do. And that's about it. I mean, it's been a great week. Like I said, I ran twice. I'm going to run a third time today. The weight's down. The energy levels are up and down. But like I said, I think that depends on my, and whether I had the coffee and also the electrolytes. So it's just all a balancing game. That's how I feel. You just kind of have to play around with it yourself. Add more fat, maybe less fat, depending on your own needs too, right? And also about the electrolytes. I use half a packet of an Element with no artificial nothing. I don't do the sweetened kind at all. I just do the plain. And I find that half the packet really made a big difference. So I'll probably do that every day or every other day until my kidneys kind of square away this diet with the ketosis. But I am feeling remarkable. So everybody's noticed I've lost weight. And like I said, when I see my kids this weekend, they have seen me 30 pounds heavier. And so I've only lost the 13, let's see, 214, 200. So I've lost about 13 and a half pounds. On the carnivore diet, I did lose 15 pounds prior over the previous 3 months, before when I left Kentucky to come to California back in January. So my kids are, last time they saw me, I was 30 pounds heavier. So it's going to be really exciting to see them and to show them that, I'm really making progress, and the changes I told them I was going to make to be better so we can do more fun things that we never got to do when they were kids because I was sick for so many years. So this is going to be great. So I hope everybody's having a good experience on carnivore. And if you're not, read more videos, do the research. That's all I did was research. And I just really put my heart and soul into making sure I did this the right way the first time I'm doing it now. Like I said, I did it once before, last year, and I did it wrong because I didn't do any research. So don't just jump in and dive in and think, oh, I can just eat meat and that's it. There's so much more to it that you have to be careful of, so you don't have high ammonia levels, so you don't really, hurt your liver, especially for people like me who have fatty liver disease. I don't need to hurt my liver anymore. I got to be very careful with that, and I've got to be very careful about the types of foods I'm eating and have more beef tallow, more, fatty beef cuts of meat, because that tallow is what helps with the process, healing the liver. The chicken broth is really healing as well. So I got to be very careful, and I have been, and I've been very excited that this has lasted even 3 weeks. So I'm really excited for my 1 month report for next week. So that's going to be great. So I'll see you next week.